And so this was also the year that my mom and my stepdad decided to turn the house into a haunted house. Given the success of the bathroom, they figured they could make money, and so they converted the entire house into a haunted house. This house was off of Red Oak in 1960. So didn't advertise. Again, no internet, no cell phones. Didn't take an ad on anywhere. Just said, we're having a small block party. Haunted house is open. And word of mouth started to spread. People started calling each other. And at some point, we had the cops show up because they're like, yeah, you guys, there's a line of cars down 1960, almost at 45, waiting to get here, apparently. So what are you doing? They're like, oh, it's a small neighborhood haunted house. And the cop just goes, I remember this clearly. I wasn't allowed to go into the haunted house, for obvious reasons. I'm a kid. And the cop just kind of like looks around to see what's going on. The garage was all decked out, had black tarps and everything else. And Brad had rigged up this animatronic skull out of a Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah.
And took all the electronics out of the Teddy Ruxpin, wired up the skull to where it would talk along with scary stories that were on this tape in a radio that was playing. And it had like a fake mantle, fake fireplace, and that's where all the kids were. They'd go take a little squat on a hay bale while your parents are going to go in the house and piss themselves. And this went on. The house ran from about 6 p.m. until, I think, 3 in the morning.
Wow.
And finally we had to start turning people away. Like, we got to go to bed.
Right.
We're done. But I think we were renting that house at the time, and if my mom told me at some point that I think we earned something like 8-9 months rent from the sales of the haunted house, the trip in the haunted house.
Wow,
it was a ton of money. And I think we were only charging like maybe $10 a head to get in, because eventually it was like, our carpet's going to be trashed. Yeah, so we're going to have to replace that. So it eventually just kept rolling forward like. It's $2, $3, $5, $10. But ever since then, man, I've been wanting to do something like that again because, well, you can't do it now because someone will sue you. They trip in your house and some other shenanigans happens. But
well, actually, to be honest with you, this past Halloween, there's a house in my neighborhood. They did a haunted house thing, but they didn't charge anybody. Yeah. So I mean, people still do it.
I liked the rogue, the gorilla haunted house that would spring up and just whatever abandoned property was around. For years, there was one in my old neighborhood at Aldine Westfield and Aldine Melroute, I think it was. Either Aldine Bender or Aldine Melroute. But there was this long abandoned house that the ownership was kind of sketchy on. And it would just get taken over every Halloween, and there would be this. It was a small house on a pretty big lot, a pretty big field. Yeah. And they would just cut the barbed wire open and just take over the house and go run a haunted house in it. Yeah. My cousins and I had run through it, at least 3 or 4 years. Yeah. So, and they eventually shut it down because it was a hazard. Like, the house was collapsing. Right. So you weren't allowed to be in it, really. But
yeah. Mike, you're talking too much.
Sorry. I'm hoping I have the photo, because there was a haunted house exactly like what you're talking about over by behind the Target, that really nice neighborhood behind Target on Loretta or over Cypresswood. Oh, yeah? That I took Sean to when he was around 7 or 8. And I have this wonderful photo of him just staring off after we've gotten home. Because halfway through the house, I had to just close his eyes, cover his ears, because it was way too much. And he's got this 1,000-yard stare after we took him home from the night. And wow. I want to see if I can show that photo.
Way to scar your child.
Yes.
That's all right. We did it. We did that to both my kids.
Yeah.
We a few years ago, there was this haunted house down off of it was Beltway 8 and 288 in that area. Yeah. Where the two cross, and just one block east of 288, they took this junkyard and turned it into like this haunted house kind of deal. You walk through it and whatever. Yeah, we took my oldest daughter through there when she was about, I want to say 9. She had the 1,000-yard stare by the time we got out of there. And then, of course, that house I just told you about, we took my youngest daughter this past Halloween, and that was the free one done by a family, and she had the 1,000-yard stare when she came out of there. And I'm like, what the hell? I didn't go in, so I was like, what the hell did they do in there, The first one I went in, because it's haunted house. Am I not going to do it?
Yeah. What are you greeting? Are you greeting people that are jumping out to scare you? Like, hi, how you doing?
Yeah. I usually do. I'll walk through those things and they'll just, yeah, a booga booga, and I'm like, how you doing? You know, because I mean, I haven't been to a haunted house that can scare me at all because I know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
The telltale signs are in the design of the house.
Yeah.
You know, oh, there's a curtain. Yeah, let me stand here and wait for him to jump out. Booga booga. Yeah, thanks. All right, go ahead. You know, yeah.
Yeah, it became a challenge for my cousin and I to scare the people that were waiting to do the jump scares.
Oh
So we
yeah,
would get
that's
sneaky.
fun too. Yeah.
Yeah, we would get sneaky and try to basically crawl through the house and hide. And
Well, I didn't never went that far. I was always too tall to get through those crawl spaces. But what I would do is, you know, since I knew when they were going to jump out, is I'd jump. I mean, they jump out, not jump back. You know, back at them. You know, so it's like boo, boo. You know, they're like ah.
boo, sucker!
Yeah, boo you.
You went in with the Sam Jackson mentality.
No, it's really just kind of like, you know, it's just like I'm waiting for him to jump out, and he goes, you know, it comes like rah, and I'm like you know, and it's like ooh, dude, you can go on. I'm like, okay, thank you. Yeah.
One of the best scares that I've ever seen. It was like a haunted woods. I want to say it was actually the haunted woods. Freaking forever ago, many years ago. But they had this strobe effect, and it was a slow fade. The lights would come up very slowly, and there was a little girl in the distance. And every time the lights would fade and come back up, she'd be gone. And then the lights would fade and come back up, and she'd be back, but she'd be like a little bit closer or in a different spot.
I love that.
And she would just sort of keep drifting through the trees, and you couldn't quite get a pattern that she was moving.
Right.
Because sometimes she'd be further away, sometimes she'd be really, really far away, and you're like, that's a little too quick. I don't like this. I don't trust this. And then the lights faded down and faded back up again, and just stayed on, and she's not there. And everyone's kind of like, what's happened? What's happened? What's happened? All of a sudden, this amplified, very much amplified, pre-recorded scream comes from behind you. Everyone turns around, and she's right behind you.
Wow. See, that's cool. See, that's something that wouldn't scare me, but I would enjoy very much.
You're like, yes, delightful.
Yes, it's literally that, you know.